what's up, guys? Another episode of the 3D podcast. It's Austin, podcast director, sitting here. Little 1v1 with my man Ethan here.
What's going on, guys?
So Ethan, as the founder and owner of 3D, you were talking about on the last episode of your early entrepreneur career, kind of. You were selling energy drinks, Zippos, e-cigs, and all that stuff. And is there anything else? Like, how much, like, what else is there that you did? Like, did you do anything else?
Yeah, I was kind of like growing up, entrepreneurship was kind of just like a bug that I kind of like, I had it before I knew what it was. So I guess like the earliest skits or scheme, whatever you want to call it, that I had was like when I was maybe like 5 years old. I had a lemonade stand that I made outside in my driveway, and I think I charged like $0.25 a cup. And most people that stopped by actually ended up giving me like $1, I think, because they thought it was pretty cute. But it was pretty successful. Though, like a lot of people ended up rolling up, and my brother and sister, I remember at first when I asked them if they wanted to help, they said no. But then once there was a bunch of people there, they wanted to help out, which was funny. But I didn't let them. But yeah, that was like my first skit, and then I actually like a couple years later, I was like, by that time I was like pretty like I knew that I was all about the like hustle, and I didn't even like know what that like word was or meant, but I knew I was all about like thinking about like how I could like get money. So I started a pet sitting service when I was 7 years old, and it was called Pet Pals. And like my dad helped me. He helped me get business cards. Like I went up to his office with them. Like he owns like an insurance company, but I went up there and like we got business cards made, and it just had like our house phone number, and I passed them out to our neighbors. And I actually made really good money doing that. Like
7 years old.
Yeah. It's like I knew that like I had to let out my animals all the time. And so it was like the idea kind of fell into my lap because my neighbors, they asked me one time, like they're like, yo, we'll pay your son. I think they asked my dad, they're like, we'd pay your son if they could look after our dog while we're on vacation. And so then like once that opportunity was made available to me, then I was like, okay, well, like I don't need to wait for you to ask me. Like I can like, shit, I can ask you and a bunch of other people, like, let me know when you're going out of town, and like, yeah, I'll be your man. So like I saw the opportunity, and I filled the gap. And that's what I meant when I said like I didn't know like what hustle was like I just like knew that anytime I found an opportunity where like I could like be of service and like fill a need or a gap and get a few bucks, I liked doing that. Yeah. So that's where it started. And I guess it's like we had the lemonade stand, the Pet Pals, and then I think that might have been it until maybe in school. Like the energy drinks, that was in middle school. I don't know if I sold anything in elementary school. I don't think so.
But you just craved like doing a service for someone.
Well, I just like I liked the grind and the hustle. I didn't know what it was called, but like just turning one into two and like figuring out how I could like. I don't know, like business was just exciting to me, like wheeling and dealing, like getting something that someone wanted and like being able to like be educated about it and like provide it in a way that was like, I don't know, like I just like, I guess the same way with what I do with like 3D and not designer, like it's just like was an early on inclination that I had that I like to be like just an entrepreneur. Yeah, I mean, I'm like always looking for ways that I can be involved and create like or take advantage of opportunity. And that like from an early age, that was just like a very apparent thing. I didn't know what the words meant, but it was like if I could find opportunity, I was gonna get it.
Ricky, my bird's doing this. Just that type shit, dude. Fucking
had to be the early bird and get the worm. But yeah, no, I just like the opportunity. Anytime I could find it, I was like quick to jump on it, and like that was what like interested me from an early age on.
So yeah, you were doing that stuff. So how'd you get into like the music with your DJing and stuff?
Well, I mean, I know we talked a little bit on episode 2 with like I kind of went to UCM for like not long at all, and then kind of came back and went to music school. But that was I guess just shout out to our audio engineer Rob. Like I went to my first EDM show with him in like 2016, and it was Jaws and Carnage. DJ Carnage was the headliner. I just say Jaws first because like he killed that shit. And because we met him before the show, and that was pretty tight. Their tour bus was out back, and it was, I don't know, we just lucked out and bumped into him. Pretty cool thing. But nonetheless, they killed it. And like leaving that show, it was that was my first show. But I ended up saving a lot of the music from SoundCloud and like getting hip and into the scene from there. I became very, very acclimated quickly and was eating the shit up not long after that. It was EDM as fuck, bro. Rob got me. He ruined my life.
Headbanging shit.
Yes, sir. And since then I go to more shows than he does. He's like a snob now, and he'll only come out if it's like a big name like Zomboy or Excision, and I'm out here going to like Casbo and like San Holo, and like, not that San's small, but just like, I don't know, like I'll go and see like a lot of names, and he'll be like, well, no, I'm gonna go to big name headlines. Yeah.
So that just make you like want to do that shit?
No, I just think it's funny because like Rob got me into it, and now I'm like a bigger like cheerleader for like I mean, don't get me wrong, like we're both artists too, and like like we like when we meet artists, like we try to not be as much of a fan as we try and be like a mutual like respect thing, like not to make it about like credibility, but just that like like we're all artists and all that. But like I don't know, it's just funny, like to each his own. Like I don't know, I go to a lot of shows, and Rob goes to some shows, but he's the one that got me into it, and yeah, that is how it be.
It do be that way.
It do be that way. Yeah.
Yeah, so that answers the music part, but what about the whole DJing part?
Oh, wait, yeah. My bad. Okay, yeah. So in the time that I was at Extreme Institute, which our audio engineer, Rob, he went there as well, and so in that time that I was there, they have career fairs where like they would have a bunch of local companies come there and like offer their opportunities, and that I like basically started DJing through Complete events in St. Louis, and then graduated onto TKO events in St. Louis, which Complete was just like weddings, and then TKO was weddings as well as like homecomings and graduations, proms, all just like proms and weddings and like residential parties, just stuff like that. But it was not clubs. It was not like, it was not the kind of shows I wanted to do, but it was something. I learned how to mix. I learned how to, set up and take down speakers and, like lights and all that stuff. So it was, I got paid to learn how to do basic stuff, but that's how I got into DJing. And it was again, shout out to Rob, because he let me know about EI, and then at EI they had a job fair, and then I got plugged into it that way. And then I was a super priss diva, and I don't like to play top 40. So now I don't DJ at any of those places, and I just freelance. And now I'm starting to do shows here in January at like local clubs and venues, so just opening up for people, and then just playing my own mixes and stuff like that. But I'll put my like SoundCloud info and all the websites and all that good shit at the end of this episode. I'll let you guys know if you want to check it out.
So give me the timeline on this. When was the first time you started listening to EDM music?
So Rob and I went to the first show that I went to for EDM. It was like 2016, right? Is that right, Rob?
Yeah.
It was like 2016, and like I said, we went and saw Jaws and Carnage, and I got the bug from there, and we went through some shows from there, and I went to college after that. I was still in high school, I believe, at the time, or maybe I was like just about to go to college. But anyways, like, I don't think it influenced me that much at the time, but then like coming back home, like definitely so. Like whenever I was like not going back to UCM, and like he had let me know about EI, like he was a major influence there. So I guess like that was kind of, he was already into the music and DJing and all that. So like you asked about the DJing too. Like I started DJing like after going to EI and learning like through the job fairs and the opportunities in St. Louis. Like I kind of was just like, I was more ambitious than Rob was. He was more into the community and the culture, so like he knew a lot more about EDM and like DJing, but I knew a lot more about like just like hustling and just being like a go-getter. So like I worked at those companies that I said, like Complete and TKO, and got my feet under me with like learning how to mix and all that, and just like live sound and all that good stuff. But like anyways, like, I owe it to Rob just because like he was the one who actually got me into the music and just like the school too. So yeah, I mean, this is just becoming the shout out to Rob episode, I guess. I mean, that's what happened, dude. Like, I mean, like, I was like at a crisis moment, and it's like, I love music. What do I do, Rob? And he's like, check out this school. And then the school led to the DJing, and then the DJing led to quitting and freelancing. And I have my own CDJs now. That's not exactly what they use at companies for weddings, but nonetheless, like, I don't know, it was just like a crazy journey. But yeah, it was a shout out to Rob the whole way, and then just like taking advantage of the opportunities at school. But yeah, 2016, that's when we started going to the shows. That was before I went to Extreme Institute in St. Louis for college, and that was that timeline for Extreme Institute was I started going there in January of 2017, and I graduated in March of 2018, about 7 months ago.
Hey.
And we started the businesses in January of this year, 2018. So yeah, like, and so now we're launching with product and Not Designer and 3D, not-designer.com and 3-d music.com. We're launching with product for sale January of 2019, a year after we started. So good stuff. Cool. Yeah.
Dude, so on the last episode, you said something about how you quit vaping and stuff.
Oh boy, did I?
What's your opinion, like overall opinion on vaping? Rant to us.
I'm biased, obviously. I mean, aren't we all? But I did quit vaping. I don't have anything against it. It's a great alternative to smoking actual tobacco. It's a lot healthier than that, I can say that. But I just quit because it wasn't really doing anything for me. Once upon a time, I was addicted to tobacco, but certainly addicted to e-cigarettes longer. And it's just like, yeah, it was the time for me to put it aside. And it wasn't easy, but I don't know. I kind of like, it was right before all this Juul bullshit was going down with the regulation and all that. And like, I'm not like saying I'm some like mystic or that I was reading the future, but I could kind of just feel that like it was not going to be a good time, like more so for me with like my career and stuff. I just knew it wasn't going to be good to like be dependent on that with like all just like the nonsense up in the air, and with it just being a hassle, and like everyone knows Juuls are super addictive, and like they were just getting so much shit on like social media and shit, like, and that was like what I vaped. Like, I mean, I started with the mod obviously, but like I don't know, it's just like I felt like it was time for me to just like put it away because it was just like annoying. And so I got off the Juul, and I went down to like just like a regular mod, which was like still nicotine but like less. And I went from like 6 nic down to 3, and then from like 3 to 2, and then 1, like with mixing like 3 and 0. And so like I quit vaping, and then yeah, I don't know. It's just like I'll be honest, I still like smoke weed, but that's like with that I still like it like mitigates my anxiety and like helps me sleep and shit like that. So it's like I feel like I still gain something with that, but with the vape it just kind of like it had lost its luster and its novelty, really. I mean, in high school, it was like, super cool, honestly, or at least to me it was. But it's just, yeah, no, it just wasn't like, it wasn't what it once was to me, so I had to put it away.
Put it away.
Yeah. It was time to grow up. And I'm not judging anyone out there, like, it's like to each his own. Like half the fucking squad here is still, I mean, shit, you Juul. I don't give you a hard time. There's a Juul on this table right now.
I like my Juul.
I don't give a shit. And Rob still, our audio engineer, still blows clouds and fucking sits here and blows smoke rings in my basement every fucking week. Dude, I don't give a fuck. Like,
dude, I heard the FDA was like taking away the pod, like certain pod flavors, because like children and shit, or like the whole like underage.
Yeah, no, they are like, and again, I'm not saying I like read the future, but like I don't know, I kind of just a few months ago, or it was maybe like 4 or 5 months ago when I quit, I was just like kind of like, man, like it's time. It was time for me to put it away. Like
I heard they were taking away like mango, cucumber, like all the good flavors except for like mint, classic menthol, and like tobacco.
We'll see what happens. It's interesting. I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. Kids have a way of finding how to do the things that they want to do, even when you tell them not to. So, I mean, it's like weed's illegal, and that doesn't never really stop people from smoking it. But I'm not saying that like they shouldn't regulate it. I'm just saying like we'll see. Like I don't know. It's like if they want to get rid of Juuls, they need to get rid of Juuls. Like getting rid of certain flavors isn't going to do anything other than make kids have it's like tobacco and alcohol is an acquired taste, so they're just going to acquire a taste for like the tobacco or the mint. And honestly, when I jeweled, my favorite was the mint. Like that shit is
Yeah, I got
fire.
mint. I got mint right now.
Yeah,
bro.
like fire. So like that's
Literally.
well, yeah. Just like they're gonna change their taste or whatever. I don't know. It's a broken argument to me. Like kids are gonna do what kids are gonna do. Like if they want to get rid of jewels, they should get rid of them. But I'm glad that I quit. And to anyone else that wants to quit, like willpower, baby. Willpower. That's how you do it, man.
So, also in the last episode you were on, you were also talking about how like you worked in the vape shop and all that shit, and you know the system and how it works. Like, as an entrepreneur, like you think like if you think you would ever like open a vape shop and like buy one and shit? You think that would ever be cool?
You know, once upon a time, like maybe if you asked me like 3 years ago, I would have been like, okay, man. It would have been like my like idea for like I probably might have even called it 3D. Probably not. I mean, I'm not saying I sat on that idea and that name for that many years, but like point being is like looking back, I had the idea like way back that I wanted to have a store that was like, I wanted it to be like a fucking like a. It's like a complex of like, you know, if you went to like a shopping outlet to where like, you know, it's like a store after store, like, and you know it's like you're walking down the sidewalk and there's like door after door and it's like each one's a different store. So I wanted to have like door after door and have it be like one building but like 3 sets of doors, and I wanted to be like 3 stores but like one building, and like have like the 3 signs. Like I wanted the middle one to be glass, I wanted the left one to be vape, and I wanted the right one to be a dispensary. So it's just like the smoking powwow, like, you know, like it's just like the smoke spot, right? It's like anything smoke we got, right? And like I always had like stars in my eyes for that. I thought like that's the move, like that's what I'm gonna do. And like I actually for a while, like before, you know, like maybe like junior senior year, I thought like maybe I was gonna go to college for like botany and just like grow like a shitload of kush, and I probably could have, but like I decided not to. Like thank God I didn't. Yeah. But and like to answer your original question, like yeah, even though I had that idea, like would I do, if I had the opportunity to do it now, would I? I can't say that I would. I would probably rather open like maybe like a restaurant. Yeah, like I don't know. I have some other ideas like that I do want to like look into. I also like the idea of like we have like an idea for directed like animated TV show, and like, you know, Netflix originals and shit like that are making it super easy nowadays. So like might have to give that a shot. The restaurant thing too, that would be really cool. But I don't know if I'd go the smoking route anymore. I don't know if like that's the way we're gonna go with our branding. I don't know if like I'm not against it. It's just I wouldn't open a smoke shop, no. Shout out to Cat in the Void on Instagram. He's making my cover art. My 4th mix is uploading next week. Should already been out, but you know, we want to make it perfect, and got a little promo teaser video coming for the social media and the cover art too. So like I said, Cat in the Void on Instagram. He made the cover art. Shout out to him. Matthias, our videographer, he's going to be on the pod next week. He'll tell you all about it, I'm sure. But yeah, that's exciting. Got my 4th mix coming out. Notdesigner.com, not-designer.com, 3-dmusic.com. Both of those sites, like we said, we're going to have product available in January 2019. We're very excited about that. Yeah, December 1st, we're having our 3rd giveaway for Not Designer. You guys can go and get you some free swag. Get on Instagram, enter to win, tell your friends, all that good stuff. Yeah, exciting times, man. Like it's all good. Thanks for having me, Austin. I appreciate you.
No problem.
I forgot to give my personal social media. I'm sorry. Okay.
Go for it.
On Instagram and Twitter, I'm Ethan Costello. That's me. I'm Ethan Costello. So you can find me there. You can find the 4th mix there next week. I gave you the Not Designer and 3D websites. You can check us out there. Links to everything's on my personal social media. But yeah, that's all I got. Like, yeah, check us out. Keep up with us. You know, we're going to be back next week. Matthias, he'll be keeping you in the loop with what he's got. And super excited to be back with you guys here in a couple weeks with everybody here to have another group episode.
All right, that pretty much wraps it up here. This 3D podcast, Austin, podcast director.
Ethan, manager, founder, goon.
Goon, what's good? We'll see you next week.
Woo!
Peace.